Hello and welcome. It is time once again to try to fix something, and today on the workbench I have another PS5 Blu-ray edition, and I think the listing on this one said that it had HDMI and power issues. So we're going to find out together what that means exactly. Let's see if we can get some power into this thing. Hold it. I have not tested this thing yet, just got it out of the box. It only arrived yesterday. Okay, what happens when we hit eject? Hey, we have standby power. Power button, we beep, and we don't get any lights. Is this going to be another encoder issue? Huh. Just curious, does it take in a disc? No. Okay. Okay. Well, this thing has probably been worked on. I'm guessing because it did say it had power and HDMI issues. So HDMI port itself looks good. I don't really see a problem there. Looks a little like somebody sprayed contact cleaner. It doesn't see that little trail of residue left behind below the port. So let's get this thing apart and see if we can figure out what's going on with this very nicely in shape PS5. I mean, it doesn't seem to have a lot of damage or anything, no marks. So hopefully we get this thing going, it'll be in good shape. Well, yeah, someone has definitely been in here. You can see this cover is off right here. It's stuck over here on the Blu-ray drive. Not a bad place to store it there. Keep it clean. So hopefully these connectors are not ripped out. They don't look like it. Hopefully everything is there. Fan, the cover is there. Let's get on into it. Okay, I do want to point out though that we are missing screws there and down in here. So I have a feeling we're going to be missing a few screws we get on inside. I don't have any spares of these. I'm going to have to see if I can find some. Alright, I got the top metal shield off, and I don't see any total disasters in here, although the area of the HDMI output looks like it's been hot. Like there's been a lot of heat dumped into that area. So I'm concerned about what we're going to find on the other side of this board. And here's our main PCB. And it does look like the HDMI port's been changed out on it, but I'll have to get it under the microscope, see if it looks right. But let's see, we're missing one little capacitor across pins, was it 17 and 18? And I'm not sure if we're missing anything else. What about the encoder? Yeah, I think that encoder's been changed, hasn't it? We'll have to take a close-up look at that. So somebody's been in here, and we do know from experience that IC, if it's failed, that IC will prevent it from booting up. So let's get this inside and get a better look under the microscope. We are inside at the workbench, ready to take a look at this under the microscope and see what we can discover. So let's switch to the microscope view. And definitely the port has been changed. No denying that. And yeah, some of the pins look a little dry. Probably not the worst port job I've seen. Not the best. Just looking for something to check those pins with. Of course, some of them do look a little dry. That one is not making contact, I don't think. Yeah, it may be making contact, but it's not soldered down. So, and this is some funky looking solder. Of course, we're missing a capacitor right here. Let's take a look at the encoder. And if I can get that in focus. Yeah, I'm going to say the encoder has been changed as well. and several dry pins there. Let me tilt this thing at an angle and try to get it back in focus. Yeah, if you look down in there, let me zoom on in. Yeah, I mean, obviously there's several pins there that are not soldered. Like, check that one out right there. Maybe making contact on the bottom pad, but you know, some of these are not. It looks like it's not quite all the way down flat on the board. And on this side as well, so if I can get it back in focus. Yeah, several of those pins look questionable. So a good place to start is to pull this encoder off. And I'm hoping it's a good one. I bet it's a new one. If you look at those side pads that have no solder on them, if they've been used, there'd probably be solder on there. So I'm hoping this is a new one. I do have one spare one on hand that I'd like to hang on to. So I'm going to pull this encoder off and add some solder to those pads and put it back down. And then we'll also clean up that HDMI port a little and see what that does to help our situation out. Alright, our HDMI encoder IC has been removed and reinstalled. A little bit better. I think I still struggle with those QFN packages. They're not my favorite, but it's part of the job here. But I think I've got it down where it'll work better than it was. And I resoldered the pins on the HDMI connector, and I do want to do a quick check with the breakout board on this HDMI connector just to see if our connections look right. I did check these filters. I think these filters are all good. Let's just see pin 1. That doesn't look good. Oh, I might have turned my leads the wrong way. 0.82, that's ground. 0.82, 0.82, ground. Pin 6, 0.82, 7, 0.82, 8, 9, 10, that looks good. 11, 12, 13, 14, no connection. 15, 16, 17 is ground. 18, 19. Okay, I think our port appears to be good, and our connection into our HDMI encoder I see appears to be good because we're getting good readings. We're almost ready to try this thing out. This liquid metal is going to be dealt with. There's some dry spots. I'm not sure how well that shows up, but you can see there's a spot right in here that looks kind of dull looking. So we're going to have to get this liquid metal redistributed around so it's nice and even all across that die. And if I need to, I do have some of this. I can add some back to it. But there's usually enough stuck over here on the side around the sponge to redistribute. And I'm just going to do that with a cotton swab here. Try to get some of that goodness out of there. Redistribute this. See what I mean? Just by pulling it out of there, there's usually plenty of it there. It just gets off to the side. And I'll take a look at the heatsink when I get out there in the garage. See how it looks. It's looking better. I think we're a little bit more even now. Okay. Let's go out to the garage and see if this thing works any better than it did before. Alright, back out in the garage. And yeah, we do appear to have plenty of liquid metal on this heatsink. Plenty, if I can get it in the picture, sorry. Plenty, plenty, plenty. Yep. That looks like that should transfer heat really well. Let me get us back together and we'll test it out. Alright, I think we are back together enough to test. I think, unless I've forgotten something, our fan is connected. HDMI connector is in there. Monitor's on. Let's just see what happens, shall we? We get a blue light, we get a fan spin. That's different. That's an improvement. Can we get some video? Anything? Nothing yet. Now, oh, we have a white light. Where's our video? Okay. Still got a problem there. I have to look at this. The angle of this HDMI connector is not good. I didn't take it off, I just retacked those pins. No video. There's got to be something. Something wrong around that encoder. I didn't see any components knocked off. I was looking to see, other than that capacitor across the, the 5 volts out. I didn't see anything else. Flux in that area. I guess it's come through from the other side. I may have to take a real hard look on the back side of this encoder, see if anything got knocked off. Because we're not working. Let me reseat this HDMI. Nothing. Okay, I think we're close. We're very close. See if I can get her to shut back down. Come on. All right, normal shutdown. I like that. So if they don't corrupt anything. All right, let me get it back out on the workbench. We've missed something somewhere. I have gone over and over my work around this port and around this encoder IC. I just can't see anything wrong. Everything looks great. So now I'm starting to wonder, because this has bit me before, is this board putting out 4K? My little monitor out in the garage can't handle 4K. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm gonna go put this back out there in the chassis because I just can't find any problems anywhere. And we're gonna bring it in to the my living room, to my 4K TV, and let's just see if it works there. All right, we are inside in the living room, ready to see if we can get a signal with a 4K TV. And I'm out of hands, so I'm gonna have to try to press the button like that. What's gonna happen? Come on now, don't let me down. Nothing. Nothing so far. White light, still nothing. So that's not our issue. Bad encoder? I don't know. That's disappointing. All right, I brought it back out to the garage just to try safe mode. Held down the power button until it gave the second beep on startup, and still nothing. So safe mode does not help either. So we have another problem. Still wondering about that encoder IC. I really don't know what all it went through. I do have one spare, but this one is working well enough that the system will boot. You know what I'm saying? That encoder is working well enough that the system acknowledges it's there, and then it will turn on. Because if it's not communicating with it, the system won't power on. And it's at least doing that, so it's not totally dead. Well, I have gone over my soldering again and again on this encoder IC, and checked it in the garage again. Still no video. So we are at the point of just changing out this encoder and seeing what happens. That's all I know to do at this point. So let me get I have one of these chips on hand, because they're not cheap, but I'm gonna get one prepped and we will get it swapped out. here we are, back out in the garage again. The encoder IC has been swapped out with a new one. So I'm hoping that takes care of our no video problem. Yeah, I think everything's hooked up. Let's just see what happens. Nope, wait, hang on. Let me hook this fan up. Let's hook this fan up. Not that it's going to be doing much, but I just like to see it spin. Okay. Fan spins. Flashing blue light. Anything? Nothing on the screen yet. White light. No video. What gives? This is going to turn out being something simple, isn't it? Let me just confirm. I'm going to shut this off. And I'm going to make it come up in safe mode. You know, something I should probably check is my cable to my monitor. I've had trouble with that in the past. Yeah, I'm gonna be upset if that's what it is. It has got me before though. All right, I'm gonna hold down the power button. Okay, so she should go into safe mode. She should be at a low resolution. Got a white light already. No video. I am going to wiggle the HDMI input on the back of my monitor. Not gonna be that lucky. Nope, not gonna be that lucky. We still have no video. All right, we still gotta find it. All right, I have been getting desperate. I changed out the HDMI port. I couldn't find anything wrong with the other port. I haven't even cleaned it up yet. Couldn't see anything wrong with the other port. Everything checked fine, you know, with the continuity and diode checks, but I changed it out of desperation. No change. And then I think I found the problem. If I can show you, if you look right here, see all these parallel traces right here? That's going to be carrying the data from the processor into the HDMI encoder. Let's just follow that back, shall we? Follow it, follow it, follow it. Oh, what's this? We have 3 capacitors knocked off. Yeah, that's going to be our problem. So what I need to do is lift one of these capacitors, get a good value on it, which is probably like a 0.1 or something. But I'll get a good value on it, replace those, which I'm not sure if I have any that quite that small, but I'll see what I've got. Replace those, and I'll bet you our data will come back. I bet that's it. All right, I have replaced 4 capacitors. I know there's only 3 that were knocked off, but when I went to touch that 4th one, it just came right off. Came right off also. So it was barely hanging on, but I did not lose it, so I was able to measure it, and it turned out to be a 0.1 microfarad, and it's like a 0201, which happens to be the same thing that's mounted back there by the HDMI port on the 5-volt rail, and that's what I'm using right there, an 0201 0.1 microfarad. So I replaced them with these. I think that's the only 0201 parts I have on hand, but they seem to go on nicely, and I think they'll work. Let's see if this thing will work. Let me get some AC power. Okay. We are hooked up. We got our monitor. Let's finally see some video out of this thing. Blue light. Come on, give me something. Yes. Yes. This thing has driven me nuts for 2-3 days now. That's a good feeling. Okay, finally. All right, well, I hope that was somewhat entertaining or educational. It certainly was to me. I learned quite a bit about the HDMI circuit of a PS5, which will help me later on down the road. So, yeah, looks good. Well, I thank you for joining me on this one, and hope you'll join me on the next one. If you enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up, and I will see you in the very next repair. So long for now.